First things first, the new iPad Pro M5 is super slim, like impossibly thin at just 5.1mm. This is a side-by-side comparison with my iPad Air, and the Air is supposed to be the slimmest model by Apple. But the new iPad Pro is the slimmest iPad Apple has ever made. Also, I'm in love with the display. Everything just feels so gorgeous here. Comparing to the iPad Pro M4, the performance boost with the M5 chipset is not that significant, but this is one such iPad upgrade that actually makes sense. Mostly because of the iPadOS 26, as it's on par with the MacBook, not just in terms of performance, but also the software and the overall experience itself. Don't miss this video, as today we'll find out if the new iPad is worth your upgrade. My name is Prithviraj and let's dive right in. If you place the M5 iPad Pro next to last year's M4 model, you will hardly be able to spot any difference, as I just mentioned. In fact, the only physical difference is that Apple removed the iPad Pro branding from the back. That's it. Also, this iPad is kind of a fingerprint magnet. Right after unboxing, my fingerprints were all over the front and the back. While filming this video, I kinda had to clean my screen after every shot that I took. But here's where the things get interesting. While Apple didn't change what you see on the outside, they completely transformed what's happening inside. And those changes matter way more than you think. But before we dive into the performance, I need to talk about this display for a second, as this one is genuinely incredible. This 11-inch Ultra Retina Tandem OLED display is without a question the best screen Apple has ever made, period. With a resolution of 1688 by 2420 pixels, 120Hz ProMotion display, HDR10, Dolby Vision, and a contrast ratio of 2,000:1, this one is simply lovely. It gets insanely bright at 1600 nits peak brightness for HDR content. I actually have to dim it way down to film without blowing out my camera. For reference, even at 50% brightness, this iPad gets almost as bright as my MacBook Pro. It's genuinely stunning for watching movies, editing photos, or just doom scrolling through social media at 2 AM. Now, Apple also offers a nano texture glass option. If you upgrade to the 1TB or the 2TB models, it reduces glare dramatically, which is perfect if you work outside or in bright coffee shops. But here's my take. It kind of dulls that jet black OLED contrast slightly, and for me that glossy wow factor is too good to give up. Also, as usual, there is a 13-inch variant as well, but I personally prefer the 11-inch one, as it's much more comfortable to travel with. I had an amazing time binge watching my favorite movies and series on Netflix on this iPad. Coming from my iPad Air M2, this is simply a massive upgrade over that. And also the sound. This aspect doesn't really get much love from other reviewers, but I am a music producer myself, so that really matters to me. It features a stereo speaker setup with 4 speakers. It has that richness and warmth that I often look for in the audio, and it's also quite loud. Rather, it's one of the loudest iPad I've ever tested on this channel. And also the low frequencies don't sound muffled, so the bass is pretty good on this device. Hence, streaming music on Spotify as well as on Apple Music is simply great here, even without headphones. And speaking of headphones, I still wish Apple gave us a headphone jack on the iPad, as honestly there is enough room on the iPad to fit in a headphone jack, but Apple simply refuses to do so. That addition would have been a treat to music producers and sound engineers, as we now have access to pro apps like Logic Pro and the rest for professional grade audio production. But honestly, the display quality is just the foundation, because the real story here is what is powering this thing, and that's where things get interesting. Also, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you're finding this useful, and I'll keep creating more such videos for you. The iPad Pro M4 was already an overkill for what most people do, but the M5 chipset brings 3 major upgrades over the M4, and they're actually pretty significant. First up, neural accelerators in the GPU. For the first time, Apple has embedded neural accelerators directly into each of the 10 GPU cores. So what does that mean in plain English? Up to 4 times faster AI performance. Also, this year every M5 iPad Pro starts with 12 gigs of RAM instead of 8 gigs. And if you get the 1TB or the 2TB model, you get up to 16 gigs of RAM. This is huge for multitasking, especially with the new iPadOS 26. Apps will stay in memory longer, and your Chrome tabs won't just refresh all the time. Hence, everything will feel much more snappier. And the third, faster everything else. The M5 also brings 30% faster memory bandwidth at 153 gigs per second, 2 times faster storage speeds for reading and writing, and 10 to 15% CPU and GPU performance gains across the board. For all of you nerds out there, here are the benchmarks of the iPad Pro on Geekbench as well as on Antutu benchmarks, and as you can see, it really performed like a beast. Also, Apple didn't just upgrade the M5 chipset, they also included 2 brand new chips that most people aren't talking about, and honestly, these might have even more importance for day-to-day usage. First, the C1X modem, but this is only there on the cellular models. This gives you 15% faster 5G speeds and 30% better battery efficiency on cellular. And the fact that it's more efficient means your battery isn't draining that significantly, especially when you are on 5G, which was always a problem before. The second is the N1 wireless chipset. This gives you Wi-Fi 7 support instead of Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 6.0 instead of 5.3, and built-in thread support for smart home devices. When it comes to creative tasks, the M5 chipset really shines. Apps like Procreate and DaVinci Resolve have have become incredibly responsive, allowing for real-time editing without any significant lag. The Apple Pencil feels like an extension of my hand, and the improved latency means I can draw and edit with precision. The color accuracy on my iPad Pro's Liquid Retina XDR display adds an extra layer of detail to my work, making it even more enjoyable. The export times on apps like Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve have improved significantly. Also, if you'd like to get started into video editing on your iPad, then I previously created dedicated tutorials for both Final Cut Pro as well as DaVinci Resolve. I'll be leaving the links in the description box below the like button. Gaming on this tablet also feels amazing. The M5 chipset paired with 120Hz ProMotion display, everything just feels much more smoother here. I don't really prefer gaming on my tablets, but I could go on gaming for hours on this device. I've been testing out various games here, and the performance is super smooth as I mentioned. I even tested out the gaming benchmarks on 3D Mark, and here are the results in case you wanted to geek out on them. What truly sets this tablet apart is the thermal management. During extended gaming sessions, I expected it to heat up, but it remained surprisingly cool, allowing for prolonged gameplay without discomfort. The battery life also impressed me. Even with hours of gaming, I still had plenty of juice left for other tasks. As speaking of battery life, Apple also added something that should have been here years ago, to be honest. For the first time ever, iPad Pro supports fast charging. Apple claims you can charge to 50% in just 30 minutes using their new dynamic charger. With Apple's 40-watt charger, it took 32 minutes to reach 50%. I also had a 100-watt charger, so it only took 28% to charge. But here's the thing, the iPad still comes with 20-watt charger out of the box, so you will have to buy a faster charger separately if you want those kind of speeds. Cheeky Apple things as usual, but once you have a fast charger, the experience is noticeably better. I had a moment where my iPad was like at 3%. I plugged it in and went for a walk and came back, and was genuinely surprised to see it sitting at 90%. That's a real quality of life improvement. And the battery life is still excellent, easily a full day of heavy usage, and even better when you're just browsing on streaming. Alright, this is where the iPad Pro finally starts feeling like a true computer replacement. iPadOS 26 brought proper window management here on the iPad. You can now swipe up from the corner of any app to create floating window. You can resize and move windows anywhere on your screen. You can also run multiple windows from the same app, and we can now connect to external displays with full windowing support. I've been using the Stage Manager feature to organize my workflow, and for the first time I can have 5 or 6 different apps visible in front of me without actually feeling claustrophobic. The extra RAM on the M5 really helps here too. I'm not seeing those annoying Safari tab refreshes anymore, and switching between apps feel instant. And not to forget the menu bar. This makes it super convenient while working on documents in something like Apple Notes, or rather working on design projects on Photoshop, and also while editing videos. The full access to the menu bar will simply give you much more options to work with. You can make the most out of your iPad when you pair it up with peripherals like the Magic Keyboard or the Apple Pencil. The Apple Pencil Pro hasn't really changed much from the outside, but somehow the experience of using it on the M5 iPad Pro simply feels much better than ever. The moment you start writing stuff down on GoodNotes or Notability, there is an instant realization that the latency has dropped to a point where it almost stops existing. Strokes appear the second the tip touches the glass, pressure transitions feel much smoother, and the handwriting feels much more natural. And also the Tandem OLED display renders ink with deeper contrast. I've been using my daily planner template every morning after I wake up to plan all my tasks and my entire day ahead. I will leave the link of the template in the pinned comment in case you're interested in that. But the game changes when you open apps like Procreate, and this thing becomes a different beast. For digital artists, the iPad Pro M5 with the Apple Pencil Pro is definitely the real deal over here. It almost feels like a real pencil and paper. Rather, if you're a serious digital artist, then this is the one you should get. You will instantly notice that you're getting more layers on bigger canvases, which gives you far more freedom to work on 4K and 8K projects without constantly hitting the layers limit. Brush strokes will feel much more controlled until shading reacts more predictably. And also the display plays a massive role. Blacks actually look like ink. Shadows will feel dense, especially when you're sketching characters, portraits, or anything in depth. Your artworks will look much richer directly on the screen even before you hit the export button. And also if you're a digital artist, you can opt for the nano texture version as well. You'll get a much more writing experience over there. The pencil grip on the surface feels more like drawing on matte paper. It will add that tiny bit of physical friction that is often required for drawing. Thus it will make your strokes easier to control, which you'll definitely find helpful while drawing. But for the rest, you can just stick to the glossy version. So here's a screenshot of the current price of the M5 iPad Pro on both Amazon India as well as on US. That's the same pricing as last year, which is impressive given all the new upgrades. So everything about the iPad Pro feels good. So the real question here is that, is the iPad Pro M5 the fastest tablet ever made? Well, absolutely, without any question. But is it the tablet you need? Well, that depends entirely on what you're upgrading from. Here's the bottom line. This is an incredible tablet that represents Apple's most refined iPad experience ever. The Tandem OLED display is stunning. The M5 chipset is a beast for AI and heavy workloads. Fast charging is a welcome addition, and iPadOS 26 finally makes this feel like a true computer replacement. But But it's also a refinement, not a revolution. If you have the M4 or the M3 iPad, you're honestly fine. You don't have to upgrade. You're not missing out on anything that will drastically change your experience. However, in case you're on older hardware, like the M1 or especially the ones that came out in 2018 or 2020, or rather if you're like me and you had the iPad Air and you are looking to buy your first iPad Pro, then this is the one you should definitely get. Everything you loved about the M4 redesign now comes with better specs, better efficiency, and better long-term value. For me, the M5 iPad Pro has completely changed how I think about using an iPad. I genuinely believe that the iPad Pro can be your primary computer if you pair it up with the right accessories. Rather, I'm planning to create a video on how I have been using the iPad Pro as my primary computer. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that, and also please check out my daily planner template. And now if you'd like to know about all the apps that I use on my iPad, then click here on this video, and over there I have shared the apps that I use every day. Trust me, you might find some useful new apps over there. See you on the other side.